I will show you right now in the Bible verses that will help you to get wealthy, no questions asked. Number 1, greedy people try to get rich quick, but don't realize they're headed for poverty. How many times have you chased a quick buck? How many times you have run after someone's idea of the hottest stock or this great deal that would make thousands and thousands of dollars, only to end up in a trap? Not because it's not possible, and yes, God will give you breaks, but true wealth is built over time because of the identity shift and change that you need to make in order to be able to handle the amount of wealth that God has intended for you. The things that you need to go through in life, the valleys, the difficulties, the sleepless nights, the crying, the head in your hands, not knowing what to do, and being lost and completely overwhelmed, are the moments that are shifting and changing your identity. We all want for our surroundings to change, but not our emotional and spiritual selves to take on a new level. Because it's easier to ask God to change our bank account or to change our kids or to change our friends than to really sit down and take responsibility and accountability for who we are, what we do, and how strong our partnership with God is. That part is more difficult. It's extremely difficult. So in the process of slow wealth growth and slow wealth blessing, it's the person that you're being made into it. You're like a diamond that shines God's light. But a diamond doesn't shine a light unless it's taken from its raw form, polished under pressure to make a smooth surface with the precise angles to where it radiates brilliance. So those moments, those difficult midnight moments that keep you up at night, regardless of the size of your bank account, it's what's teaching you how to understand that only with God those big streams are possible, that only with God you can build lasting wealth. Verse number 2, in the end, greed causes fighting. Trusting Lord leads to prosperity. There's two ends of wealth. One is poverty, broke, lack, and the other one is prosperity and wealth idolization. Neither of those is good. You don't want to go from one extreme to another. Some people walk around with the badge of poverty and broke and lack like it's a badge of honor. They believe that that's what's going to get them to heaven and that's what keeps them clean. Wrong. That's what keeps you stuck and away from your purpose and God's kingdom impact that He intended for you. Now, the other side is the idolization of wealth, wanting and becoming what your heart is praising and loving. And that is what God says is the destruction of you. Is the other way the enemy uses things such as material possessions to corrupt your strengths, to corrupt your kingdom impact. True wealth and prosperity is knowing and having a relationship with God, anchoring yourself in what God wants for your life, and hearing those deep, big dreams, those desires, and those thoughts that you have from God, that you have checked in with God, and you have heard them from God. Maybe with a little nudge, maybe with an open voice, but running a scan, a God scan through those things and anchoring yourself in what God wants for you and for your life. It means in this verse to trust God that He would lead you to prosperity. Because the side of glorifying wealth and possessions is the side of greed, and that would lead to fighting. Fighting not only among people that you love, but fighting within yourself. Because if you go after this, that's what causes vanity. That's what causes emptiness, sadness, depression, loneliness. And again, that's what the enemy uses to keep you away from your purpose. Because you ask yourself, what's all this for? I don't feel anything. I'm none to everything. I've gotten this far. I've achieved this altitude in life, success as world defines it, but yet there's nothing there and it's emptiness. But when you do it in God, with partnership with God, in God's purpose, you realize that you're here to advance His kingdom, impact the people that He called you to impact, and that's what gives you fulfillment. So you take the blessings and the possession that God gives you, and yes, that includes money in your bank account and possessions, so that you can have an impact at scale. Next verse. Despite their desire, the lazy will come to ruin, for their hands refuse to work. Your work in partnership with God means taking action, doing your part. Some people go around and say that, well, if God wanted me to be wealthy, then He should give it to me. No, you have to do your work. You have to do your part. And also you have to show God that you are equipped and wise and disciplined to handle what He gives you. Otherwise, like God said, if you are not trustworthy with little, then who will give you much? And that's why hard work and smart work is something that we all need to pursue. Also, there is fear that stops so many from stepping in what they need to be doing to not only steward and manage God's money the way He intended to, but also to give generously and to multiply it so they can give more. God says something very profound about the people that go around and say these things. He says, the lazy person claims there's a lion out there. If I go outside, I might be killed. So what this says is, if God calls you to learn how to invest in the stock market or in real estate or whatever else, and you're saying, oh, but I'm gonna lose my money, it's the same as saying, well, there might be a lion there and I'm gonna get killed. You know what? There might be a lion, or there might not be a lion. What is important is God has brought it to your attention. There is a reason why He wants you to take action on it, not wait around, but learn and get His knowledge, respond to His nudge, and do what He asks you to do. Now again, you could choose to just bury what you have like the servant did and do nothing about it, but that's not what He calls you to do. You're not a lazy servant. You're the one called to multiply so that you can generously give. Now comment below, the more I have, the more I give. And when you learn how to manage and multiply your money, that's when you can have more and give more. But if you're constantly scared of the lion outside, which by the way, life is not without risk. Life itself is a risk. But as long as you anchor yourself in God, you are going to be able to discern what to do and when to do. Now, would it be without fault? Would it always be perfect? No, because again, you need to develop your character. He does the testing for our own good. It's not about the valley that you're brought to. It's not about the difficult nights. It's not about the crying, which is very painful and it's very hard when you go through those. And I have gone and still have those moments, but it's about what you and I do with them. What learnings do we take? And how close do those bring us to God? Remember the people that were tested in the Bible. Their whole family was taken away. All their wealth was taken away. Some were thrown into prison. Some were betrayed by their family. Very difficult situations to be in. But all of them came down to one thing. What did they do with it? And where was their relationship with God? And they got prospered. prospered and prospered. And those people, like Abraham that was tested, was promised prosperity above and beyond, multiplication above and beyond. Some might say, well, that means that everybody was promised prosperity. And I would say, yes, everybody is promised prosperity. It's a matter of the level. Whoever much is given, much is asked. If you're given much, then you are asked to steward and multiply it responsibly. If you are giving little and you have a nudge for more, then you are asked and called to have a great impact. There's other people that were giving less. That means, what do they need to learn to fulfill God's purpose? We are all giving different purposes. Not everybody was meant to be a king or a queen in the earth sense and definition of a king or a queen, but everyone was made to be a king and a queen of God's kingdom. As queens and kings of God's kingdom, you and I have the responsibility to take what is given and impact God's kingdom. Advance it here on earth, because your ambition, your drive, your possessions, your gifts are all a blend of God's power and strength for you to impact God's kingdom at scale.